I'm not sure if the other speakers were feeling the same way as I was, but what a relief to see your actual slides come up when you look at the monitor. Thank you to all the organizers for this terrific exchange of ideas. My ideas that I'll share today built on what you heard from Craig Joyce with Statistics Canada earlier today. I'm part of this exciting organization called Engage Nova Scotia that's leading the Nova Scotia Quality of Life Initiative. And you may be wondering, where the heck is Nova Scotia? Nova Scotia is a small province of about 1 million people. Our original people were Mi'kmaq. We call it Mi'kmaqi as well. And I'm part of an organization that is actually a nonprofit charity with a mission to change the approach to improving quality of life for everyone. Mary, your comments about pockets of inequality will be the punchline that I hope to bring to my presentation with you today. For 100 years as Nova Scotians, with an insecurity complex, we've been saying that if only we had a stronger economy and more people, we would have a better society, without fully seeing that what's in the soil and less seen. A good quality of life for everyone in our communities was the essential piece to sort of make this virtuous circle. So in 2019, in collaboration with the Canadian Index of Wellbeing at the University of Waterloo, we undertook a massive survey. We asked households in 80,000 homes to participate in a 230-question survey. Almost 13,000 residents responded to a 230-question survey, which was a big surprise to everyone. It gave us a data set that's not an inch wide and a mile deep, or an inch deep and a mile wide. It's a mile in all directions. And it asks questions about people's lives that include, how many children do you have? What are their ages? And what are your living arrangements? And do you rent? Do you own? Et cetera, et cetera. And we were really excited by the results because it gave us possibilities that are almost endless. This slide describes generally what those possibilities are. In the black bar that you will see here, you will just have a sample of the kinds of answers through 3 pages of questions that we've asked those 13,000 people to answer about their different lives. And you'll see that while we organize this predominantly through an index of well-being and the 8 domains that we use, we also actually have sorted our fancy tools. I'd love to spend time for anybody who wants to spend time with me on our fancy tools that I can only breeze past. I'll share with you more about what it provides us. It's coded not just to our 230 questions, but it's also coded to the 17 SDGs. So you will see examples of different questions under most of the goals on this brilliantly big screen behind me. And the one that's highlighted in red under no poverty, about housing and recreation and transit, is the one that I will focus on the most. Oh, do I ever want to tell you about the tools, but I'm going to just breeze past them. That breeze means that you can go to our website at engagenovascotia.ca and use a geospatial map that tells you stories across 70 different regions of our province related to those 230 questions. It will look something like this. It's got a tutorial, and you can go in and do, if you love pie charts, if you want to aggregate, if you want to zoom in, it really gives amazing features related to this. And to the point about inequalities, geography matters, but demography matters a great deal more. And this came to light when I received a call from the mayor of Cape Breton Regional Municipality, and she said, "My municipality continues and my councillors are only focused on population and economic growth. What can you do to help with your tools to give them insights that they don't currently have?" So I'm going to give you a use case that shows the intersectional analysis that we're able to do for a community of people with 100,000 residents, with a sample size from that community alone of 2,000 people. This was the sort of high-level goals for that community before we did a workshop. And last year, in May of last year, we came in and we said, okay, in your community, in this first column, I can't hover over it, you'll see the line in a column that says CBRM overall. That is the response that reflects the average answer around affordability to the provincial mean for Cape Breton regional residents. In the subsequent columns, where we talk about people's circumstances who have low incomes, who are younger adults, older adults, single parents, and persons with disabilities, purples represent concerns and yellows represent assets. And you can see quite quickly that there are tremendous concerns once you disaggregate at a local level the stories of people in those communities. So to give you a sense of this, it's not all good for older adults, although it might look like on this slide of the 200 or so questions we have. For older adults, the balance relative to a color legend tied to the Sustainable Development Goals, the assets for adults look roughly like this. You'll see this, all these are coded to the SDGs, and these are their relative concerns in that community. If you simply change the variable to include age, it looks like this. Overwhelming concerns for young adults in that local community. For people living with incomes under $40,000, the rainbow of which of the SDGs are of greatest concern changes, but the strength of concerns continues to be significant. For families being led by single parents, it looks like this in that local region. And for those living with a disability, not a single statistically significant asset, and all concerns. At the end of this development, Council voted to actually change their superordinate goals to add social inclusion. And they went beyond that to strike task forces on housing, recreation, transit, and they invited us back to do a deeper dive and to invite those people who are young adults living precariously in their community to tell their stories. That workshop looked something like this. And I can't help but notice that one of the participants, Alyssa, in the bottom right corner, profoundly says, you know, it costs to help, but it costs more not to. We provided them with data in single pages that were bite-sized, that really broke down the simplicity of this. This was just the data pull for the housing. So counselors, task forces, and the citizens all together looking at this data for the first time. It gives us something that's hyper-local, intersectional, and nimble, and with some excitement, this was all done, you can remember, in 2019. Next year, we're going back to do an even larger sample of people with an intention to capture the stories of people who have been left behind so that we can level the playing field for citizens from one end of our province to the other. And we hope this provides some insights and possibilities for examples of ways for us to do this analysis on an ongoing basis. Thanks very much for your attention.